over Davis Webb, then Davis Webb is not a good quarterback.
No, you get rid of the guy who's bad so you can get something for him. But they got rid of him anyway. They cut him, so it didn't matter.
What guy who's bad? They tried to trade him. Nobody wanted him.
Well, I know.
That tells you how good he is. He's not. Well, they got a journeyman backup now, Joe Tanny. I didn't even heard of this guy.
Davis Webb will end up on another team before the second week. You know that. Someone's
As what?
I don't know.
Holding a clipboard?
Wearing the baseball cap.
Come on. This guy has never played an NFL snap, and you're anointing him.
I'm not anointing him.
You're saying he's going to have a job. You have no idea.
Canada,
he's playing in the Arena Football League.
AAF, XFL,
The XFL is going to be around for 2 years.
The XFL is already is already acting like, maybe we can get some players, but they're not going to spend the money. That's the problem. Though, from what I heard, Vince McMahon has $100 million to play with. So,
well, all I know is that for all the quarterbacks taken with non-first round picks, and that includes Christian Hackenberg. All right, here's another example of a disaster that with a wasted pick. The New Orleans Saints, to me, made a great trade. Not just a good trade, a great trade. They just spent a third-round pick, and now they have their quarterback of the future. Drew Brees is 40 years old. He's going into his 18th NFL season.
Okay.
All right. He's not going to be a quarterback much longer. I know you. If you were a Saints fan, you'd be, he's going to play. He's going to play. You have this at times ridiculous optimism. That you think that players
is it because I'm a Saints fan or a Jets fan?
You think that players can play forever?
No,
they can't, and they don't.
They don't. They can't.
Well, that's my point. Here you have Teddy Bridgewater, who all it would require is a third-round draft pick. And you have your starting quarterback for the next 10 years.
Maybe the Giants don't give up a third-round draft pick.
That's just so dumb.
Oh, that's so dumb.
That's just dumb.
Anyway, we're going to take a break.
I'm very disappointed with Gettleman. He should have been in touch with the Jets. He should have been monitoring that situation. Everybody in the United States knew that the Jets were looking to trade Teddy Bridgewater. So how do you let him go for just a third-round draft pick?
Because the Jets aren't going to give a player like Teddy Bridgewater to the Giants. That's why.
What do they care? They're looking to get the best deal possible. Trade him the third rounder and don't ask for the sixth rounder back.
It's the same reason why the Mets and Yankees don't do the great trades of the world.
Wrong.
No, it's not.
Wrong.
No, it's not.
If there would have been a conversation about it, it would have been reported. Like you're talking about the media. That would have been reported. The Giants tried to get Teddy Bridgewater.
Right.
Was it reported?
No.
No, of course not, because it never happened.
Right. I'm saying that it wouldn't happen because the Jets and the Giants don't trade.
Well, that's stupid. If Gettleman calls the Giants or if Gettleman calls the Jets and says, hey, Mike McCagnon, I'll give you the third rounder for Teddy Bridgewater. We don't need the sixth rounder back. Mike McCagnon says, Dave, we got a deal. Teddy Bridgewater's on his way across. We'll get him on a bus and send him over to you. It would be done.
You can't put him in a nice limo?
Put him in a limo. I don't care what you put him in. As long as he's got a place to put his bag.
Okay.
He carry a green bag over into the Giants' locker room. I'm sure they'd love that.
That would be fun. Anyway, we're going to take a break right now. You're listening to From the Press Box right here, part of the sports WHPC Sports Talk family. I'm Rob Leonard. That's my brother, Tim Leonard. Don't be angry with him. But if you
are being right, why would people be angry?
Or if you believe what he's saying or don't believe what he's saying or whatever, give us a call, 516-572-7440.
Want more sports? We have more sports.
Let's get it.
Catch WHPC Sports Talk all week to get your sports fix.
Break it down.
Monday mornings at 9. Monday afternoons at 5. Tuesday afternoons at 5. Thursday nights at 9. And Friday afternoons at 3.
Come and get some of this.
WHPC Sports Talk. Exclusively on the voice of Nassau Community College. 90.3 WHPC.
Okay. Go.
Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out. Check it out.
I want to talk about something that's not going to be forever.
Oh my God, I'm so scared. What is this thing that's going to be off the grid, Mike?
So there was this one place. You used to sweep the nation. You'd see it everywhere.
Like it was a store?
It was a store.
A food place? Or
I'm not going to go into specifics.
I'm going to go with Chuck E. Cheese's.
Oh,
don't even.
Chuck E. Cheese's.
Stop. That was my childhood. I love Chuck E. Cheese.
It's time to grow up.
I had a birthday party there.
I've never had
Chuck E.
Cheese.
What?
Where's your childhood? First I learned you don't like Cheerios. Now you never step foot in a Chuck E. We're changing
I don't
that.
like things that start with CH.
The Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9. On the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
It's now easier to listen to the voice of Nassau Community College on your phone.
Stay connected to your favorite radio station anywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app.
Never miss shows like the Nassau Morning Madhouse, It's Saucy, or the Radio Rumble Again.
Streaming 24/7, 365. Listen to WHPC everywhere.
iHeartRadio is radio and unlimited music all in one app.
Listen live now in the iHeartRadio app and at iHeartRadio.com.
Just search for 90.3 WHPC.
We're back here on From the Press Box, part of the WHPC Sports Talk family. I'm Rob Leonard. Across from me is my brother and award-winning sports writer, Tim Leonard. A lot of people upset, brother, that we were arguing.
Mom is upset. Mom is on the Facebook Live saying stop the arguing. Mott's Radio. This is what we do.
This is what we do, especially when Timmy's wrong, Mom.
Especially when Rob is making a ridiculous point.
The Jets and when's the last time the Jets and Giants made a trade?
I have no idea.
When was the last time Yanks and
Doesn't
Mets?
matter.
When was the last time the Rangers and Islanders made it?
Doesn't matter. They have to do it at some point.
When the Knicks and Nets last time make a trade?
Don't know.
You don't do it.
Don't care.
You don't do it.
Don't know. Don't care.
Well, I'm just saying.
Like I said, if the Giants are willing to give the Jets a better deal than what the Saints gave them, you make the deal. It doesn't matter who the opposition is. McCagney's job is to maximize the asset that was Teddy Bridgewater.
But he
didn't do that.
We're the only town that has two teams for every league. You just don't make that trade.
You do make that trade. If that's the best deal, that's what you do.
And then he plays for the Giants, and all of a sudden he's great. And then the Jet beat writer said, "Well, geez, why did Teddy Bridgewater go to the Giants?
Because they had Sam Darnold.
What if Darnold turns out to be Johnny Manziel or something? Not that he will.
You roll the dice, you take your chances, and that's all you can do as a GM.
Thank you.
But you make
Love the gambling
best
analogy.
trade. And if that was the best trade that Mike McCagnon could make, then I have to question his tenure as GM.
Well, that's something
because
else,
he
too.
didn't.
I
To
agree
me,
with you on that.
he did not do his job. And he could have done it. He could have gotten more. You have to get more than a third-round pick. For all the garbage that's floating around the NFL, including Davis Webb, including Christian Hackenberg, quarterbacks that either are never going to play or the only way they're going to play is if a starter gets hurt and it puts them in that position. What happens
if the Giants had picked Sam Darnold first?
Well, obviously, now we'd be talking about Eli. We'd be talking about Eli's last season as the Giant quarterback, because Sam Darnold obviously would have shown himself just as well with the Giants as he did with the Jets, and he would show that he's ready to play. I don't think the Giants could really trade Eli, or if they did, it would be for next to nothing because of his salary. I mean, you're talking about $20 million or so on the cap, so it would be difficult to move him.
It'd be like
in fact, you wouldn't even get a third rounder for him because the other team would have to pay his salary.
It looked like when Peyton Manning, Eli's brother,
in a lot of ways,
it'd be the same situation. Matter of fact, I've been expecting that, except I think the Giants have a little more connection to Eli than the Colts had to Peyton. Even though
I wouldn't say that because Peyton was very successful for the guy. I would say
I know that, but they also got rid of him, and they made a big deal out of it. They had a press conference, and we don't want to do this, but we have to. No, you didn't.
Yeah, they did. They did. Wow. It was a salary cap issue. Peyton was having neck surgery. There were a lot of issues going on there.
What happens 2 years later?
They had to wait 2 years. You can't tell a franchise to wait 2 years for a player.
Yes, you can.
Especially when Andrew Luck was the quarterback, the number one quarterback in the draft, and was right there waiting to be picked. And you move on. You move on. The Peyton Manning era is over, and the very next day, here's the Andrew Luck.
I'm just saying,
starting.
Who won the Super Bowl 2 years later?
Perfect symmetry.
That's all you have to say,
and that's fine. But you can't ask the Broncos or the Colts in that year to number one pass on Andrew Luck. Because they're waiting
I'm
for
not
Peyton
saying
Manning.
Pass. You can't pass on that.
Well,
you're right.
Then now you're sitting him for a couple of years. You can't. And if Andrew Luck, if you don't sit him because Peyton's hurt, and then Peyton comes back, meanwhile you're still paying Peyton to be on the payroll and be under contract. But now he comes back. He's not going to take a cut salary to stick around.
Let's change the salary cap in the NFL. That's my thing. Let's get rid of it.
I'm not even going there.
Well, I'm just saying.
You're talking a completely different issue.
That's half of the discussion of the NFL is about the salary cap.
Well, it's a necessary evil.
They're the richest league in the world.
Doesn't matter.
They get more money than any other league in the world.
Does not
and
matter.
They're the cheapest.
It's not
they're
being
the
cheap.
cheapest
Quarterbacks
bums
are making
in the world.
$20-something million. Odell Beckham Jr. just signed a 5-year deal worth like $95 million.
That's great.
And you're saying cheap? You really have the nerve to say cheap?
Yeah, but is it all guaranteed? A lot of it isn't, and you know that.
A lot of it isn't, but a lot more is now being guaranteed.
Then you shouldn't call it a $95 million potential.
Kirk Cousins signed a deal with the Minnesota Vikings in the offseason. 3 years for $84 million. Every single dollar is guaranteed.
That's great.
That's $28 million a year.
Right.
Every dollar is guaranteed.
That's fantastic.
Two guys signed over the weekend. I'll give you more money, more monster contracts. The Los Angeles Rams signed defensive tackle Aaron Donald. 6 years, $135 million. $87 million is guaranteed.
Okay.
All right. Khalil Mack was holding out with the Raiders. The Raiders were, and this is the other part of this trade that was ridiculous with Bridgewater. The Bears traded 2 number 1 picks. Where is the rest of this? The Bears traded 2 first-round picks, 2019, 2020, a 6th-rounder in 2019, and a 3rd-rounder in 2020. And they got Khalil Mack, a 2nd-round pick in 2020, and a conditional 1st-round pick. And then Khalil Mack signs a contract with the Chicago Bears for 6 years and $141 million, $90 million of it are guaranteed. So you're sitting here saying they're cheap. It's absurd.
Considering how much money the NFL brings in every year, we're talking billions. They are cheap.
All
contracts should be guaranteed, and if it means you get less money, then I'd rather have a guaranteed contract that said I'm going to make $100 million and a potential of $135.
All I can say to that,
you got to get traded before the end of that.
All I can say to that is are there players and our NFL players treated in a worse way with their contracts than any other league? I would say yes, because they can get cut anytime.
There you go.
And once they get cut, their money, only a certain portion of their salary, like there's been in the last 5 years much more guaranteed money. It used to be if you got cut in the NFL, boom, your contract was over.
Right.
And there's no other league like that. If you sign a 5-year contract in baseball and you get cut after the 2nd year, you're still getting paid.
As well you should.
So nobody's getting cut in Major League Baseball. There are very few guys. You'd have to be really a disaster for it to happen. But that is life in the NFL. And it's unfortunate because you'd like to see more guaranteed money, but it's also the most potential for injury in the NFL. Right. And it's like football players say, and it always sounds overly dramatic when they say it, but the saying is every play could be your last play. Yeah, and you look and look at Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz, who retired last week, he made a catch, landed, patella tendon, boom. He played one more season after that, but for the most part was a non-factor. So his career might not have ended that day with the patella tendon, but his career was effectively over at that point.
Yes, it was.
So that's stuff that can happen in the NFL.
Right.
That's why money isn't guaranteed. If the Giants assign Victor Cruz to like a 4-year contract,
but it should be guaranteed because all these guys, every player is insured. Look at David Wright. He doesn't play. The Mets get money from the insurance company.
I know, but insurance companies aren't going to insure football players.
Why not?
Because of all the injuries. What do you mean, why not? Because they smash into each other every week.
If they pay
at
enough,
very
you
high
will.
speed, they smash into each other.
If you pay enough insurance, you will.
But you're talking about for hundreds of millions of dollars in salary would have to be insured, and you're talking. I don't even know how many tens of $millions you would need in insurance.
And how many billions of dollars does the NFL make a year?
You're talking every team. The insurance companies would love the NFL if they did that.
Of course they would.
Love.
Anyway.
Although actually it probably would wind up breaking even or something.
Knowing that. Anyway, let's talk. We talked a lot of football, actually. And season starts this weekend. Well, actually Sunday.
Sunday.
Actually, Thursday. Isn't it Thursday?
I don't even know.
I forget. I forget there's a Thursday game.
I'll look, brother. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Anyway, let's talk some Yankees, because the Yankees are trying to figure out if they're going to take the AL East or not.